Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Mountain West Football Championship game. We have arrived at Bronco Nation News with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. We're here in the Cutwater Studios, high atop. What a palace here, Allegiant Stadium. In 2 months, Mike Sanford, they'll be playing the Super Bowl right here on this very field. But today, last night it was the Pac-12, and today it is Mountain West Football Championship game. Boise State arriving a short time ago. We're pumped up to be here, pumped up to have some fun. Even the players getting a chance to get their phones out, get a look at the couldn't do the walkthrough yesterday with the football game going on, so some players getting a chance to check out the views, check out the stadium. Going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. We got our man Mike Sanford joining us here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. We'll get back to some more of Mike Sanford here in a second, or some more of the videos here. Mike, appreciate you, man. How we doing today?
Hey, man, it's Championship Saturday after an unbelievable Championship Friday night. That was one of the best football games that I have ever witnessed. And I have full expectations for another phenomenal game at Allegiant Stadium, just a mere 16 hours after what was an absolute classic there last night. You know, I'm really excited for today just to see what this program's gone through, just all the different highs and lows. I mean, starting with the season opener against a team that is 13-0 and has already secured a spot and potentially a Heisman Trophy winner in Michael Penix with the Washington Huskies, and then going through all kinds of, just ups and downs, a lot of adversity, a lot of drama. But we are here and we are where we're supposed to be. This program is a championship program. And even in years like this, here we are playing against the upstart UNLV Rebels, the 9-3. Can you believe it? UNLV Rebels with an unbelievable chance to win just a huge championship with so many different storylines attached to it.
Well, we're excited to chat about it. Sorry, I was trying to send my wife her tickets here so they can get into the arena or the stadium. But, Mike, what do you make? The players, they come in, they're taking the pictures. They're kind of wide-eyed right now. I mean, for some of these guys, their first time ever even in an NFL stadium, and now to be playing on it, like I said, where the Super Bowl is going to be. I'm sure they were watching on TV, the Pac-12 game. This place was packed last night. The Chiefs were here last week. I mean, what's this opportunity like for these players? And if you win, you get to do it again in the SoFi Stadium next week. You've been a part of a lot of big games in these kind of stadiums. What's it like for these players, and in particular, the first-timers?
It is awesome. I mean, I was my wife actually posted a bunch of pictures, RIP Pac-12, and she posted a bunch of pictures of championship games and, big bowl games, Fiesta Bowls, and NFL stadiums. And, those moments where you walk out onto that field, I mean, it truly does make your hair raise on your arms. The goosebumps are rolling. And it's just a great feeling. It's not a feeling of nerves. It's just a feeling of accomplishment, excitement, and really just one of the last times out there with this exact group. We all know that the transfer portal is rapidly changing college football teams' rosters year to year. And don't think that Boise State will be immune to that, no matter who is hired as the head coach. It just happens. It happens everywhere. So this is the last time that this group and this collection of players, coaches will all be together. That is guaranteed, because after championship Saturdays, man, the portal gets a little bit active again. So this exact group, this will be the last time that they play together. And I'm hoping that it goes down as a championship win, and then everybody stays together for one more in the LA Bowl, which would be a tremendous venue to play another football game.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Going to be a lot of fun. We're in the press box right now, but we don't have great. I'm like holding my laptop here, so I'm not looking down the whole time. We'll make it work. Somebody says BNN taking some strays from Papa Avalos today. Well, we're not going to touch that. I did see his statement out there. It is what it is. I guess somebody's watching, Mike.
Hey, man. I was surprised by it all. Hey, listen, I've been through it. I've been a fired head coach. I've been a fired coordinator. I've had family members that would love to have had a rant on Facebook or Twitter. And I've had conversations that force them to do that. But everybody is, it's a freedom of speech country we live in. And so I'm all for it. And for BNN to take a shot. I mean, I think, having been a part of this for just this season, BJ, what you do, what your whole team does, the coverage, obviously it's relevant. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I would consider that if you're getting shots thrown in your direction, it's because you're covering the team and covering it well.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. What do you this game in this season? And Boise State, Mike, had a 0.1% chance when Boise State ran the numbers of getting to this point. 0.1% chance to be here at Allegiant Stadium after the loss to Fresno State. All the stuff that had to happen. The Boise State had to win their last 3 games. You had to have Air Force go to Hawaii and lose. You had to have Fresno lose to New Mexico. A lot of weird stuff happened. But what can you say? I mean, some stuff did fall into place for them, but the coaching change, all the stuff they've dealt with this year, the Hail Mary at CSU. I mean, just for this team to bounce back and be resilient and find a way to somehow, some way be playing in this championship game today. Just how do you kind of put this season into words and just kind of talk about where, just how crazy it is that Boise State is here?
If I were to put this season into words, I'd put it into, the 2 players that stick out and what they stand for, DJ Schramm, and George Halani, both recruited, by Hassine. I mean, these guys have been around for a long time and seen all the ups and downs of not only the last 5-6 seasons of Boise State, but also this season. And so those 2 names of players that have just blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, I coached against both of them in 2019, Utah State, Boise State. That feels like that seems like forever ago. I actually just recently watched highlights of that game, and I'm like, George Halani scored on a Statue of Liberty. That's unbelievable. Like I literally in my life, felt like a million years ago. I mean, I was an offensive coordinator at Minnesota, then an offensive coordinator at Colorado, and a head coach in that time since George Halani's been on the blue. And DJ Schramm the same way. So, those 2 guys and their resilience, I think it's shown up in their leadership. It goes deeper than who's the coach. It goes deeper than who's the interim. I think it goes to those type of players, just getting 115 other guys to rally and galvanize behind a cause. Because when I remember very, very vividly after the Fresno State game, Johnny Ballgame and I did our ball talk on Monday night. And I said, just based off of the performance in Fresno, I didn't see a guaranteed victory on the schedule in front of us. That was just a reality to the way I saw it. There was no guarantee. I'm not saying they were going to lose every game, but certainly not a guarantee. So saying it was 0.1% at that point in time, that's realistic. But what I give a lot of credit to is to Spencer Danielson and his energy, his love for these players. Has really also galvanized this locker room and really leaning on those leaders, those seniors through the relationship that Spencer has with them. And I think that's exactly why we're in this position, because at the end of the day, this is a very, very talented roster. I've said it since the very beginning, and I believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. It's tough to see on TV. But when you go to a couple games in person, you really do see that this is one of the better looking eyeball test Boise State rosters that I've seen in my personal time around the program in the last quarter century. And so I think they're in the right spot. They're deserving of a Mountain West championship. They didn't backdoor their way in. They beat the teams they needed to beat, and namely the Air Force win propelled them to be in the position that they are right now. I think this is going to be a tremendous ball game today. I think UNLV, I think they took their foot off the gas a little bit against San Jose State. And San Jose State was playing really good football. But even just looking at the way that the game was called down the stretch, it was almost like they wanted San Jose State in a rematch. And I might be a conspiracy theorist, but it did look strange, the end of game drive, when I thought that UNLV had
They would have had to go to San Jose though for the championship. They didn't want to do that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that. But
hey, go ahead.
It just didn't look like a vintage UNLV 2023 performance. I think that they're going to pull out all the bells and whistles. They have a quarterback in Jaden Mayava that is an absolute stud. He's a local product right there in Las Vegas. Played at Liberty High School. He's a young man that I recruited, thought very highly of, but both his athleticism, his command, his toughness. He's going to be, we're going to have our hands full. And, with a receiving core that has, they can push the ball down the field. Jaden Mayava can create the second play, always keeps his eyes down the field, and then a running back group that is accounted for 36 touchdowns, which leads all of FBS.
This is a live look here in Allegiant Stadium as both teams are on the field and starting some early warm-ups here. Just a amazing palace that is Allegiant Stadium. Again, the Super Bowl is going to be here in about 2 months. 2 months for the Super Bowl here. Looking forward to that. Hey, I want to play a video. I was watching Spencer Danielson earlier, Mike Sanford. He walked out there kind of by himself, and Spencer Danielson was just kind of taking it all in, just kind of standing there and just kind of thinking, talking to himself, praying, I believe. What do you make of what's going through Spencer Danielson's mind right now? And obviously the biggest game to this point of his career, he's hoping to obviously get this full-time gig. I know that today's game probably doesn't really have you wouldn't think has a direct outcome. They're not going to pick a coach based on this game, but just this is a big game for him. And what do you think is going through his mind today and in this moment?
I think it's been a lot of emotion. It's been a lot of stress. I personally have had a routine. I wouldn't call it a ritual, but a routine. When I arrived to a stadium, since I was a player, I've always taken a lap around the entirety of the outside of the field. It's been a prayer walk for me. And, I've been in those exact same shoes so many times over the last 24 years. So I know exactly what he's going through. I know exactly what's going through his head. And I think he's just also very appreciative to be in this position. I think he's very appreciative of how, the people that he has been tasked with leading have responded to his leadership. And I think they've responded to his leadership because he's done it in a genuine, authentic, and joyful type of way, a way in which I think allows players to be exactly who they are. I love that shot right there of him praying with the team. And that's the kind of leader that he is. His faith is really important to him. I texted with him earlier today. I haven't even met Spencer Danielson. I've never met the guy, but we have common friends in the coaching industry.
You dapped him up at the CSU game. Waiting for the elevator.
Oh yeah, I guess I did meet him. That was quick. Yeah, you're right about that, man. I that's the only time I've ever. Yeah, you're right. It was a quick little. I think we bumped some fists, and that was about it. But I think with both he and my personality, that's not really a true introduction because I look forward to the offseason. Just to get together with him, whether he's the head coach at Boise State or whether he's the defensive coordinator at Boise State or he's the defense coordinator somewhere else. I look forward to getting together with him because I've been so impressed with just how he's led and he's done it in such a genuine and authentic way.
What's want to take, the fans are starting to come in now, the team's starting to come out, but a championship game, Mike, how is a champion? I know it's a common sense answer, but a winner take all championship game, how is that different than a regular season game, just in terms of the feeling, the in-game strategy? Obviously it's, what's on the line. You win this game, you get the trophy. Boise State has kind of been playing this winner take all for a couple weeks now. They knew they had to win, these last 3 games. Maybe that's helped a little bit, but tell us about your experience in championship games and what's the intensity level, how is a game like this different than a normal game?
Well, my experiences has always been a second matchup within the calendar year against an opponent that we had played. Actually, in almost all three instances, we had played in the last 3 weeks of the regular season against Fresno State in 2014. I think we turned around and played them right again. If I'm not mistaken, it was a week later or something crazy like that. Arizona State, when I was at Stanford, we played Arizona State at our place. Beat them, and then it was a close game, and then we played them at their place and changed our entire signal operation, changed our entire play calling mechanism, and then absolutely got after them. And then UCLA was also a common opponent when I was at Stanford from the regular season. So this is different in the sense that UNLV and Boise State never matched up during the regular season, which I actually really like, because I love in a conference championship when you see two teams like Alabama and Georgia that are on a collision course, and you just see it building, you see it marinating. This might not have been as easy to see 5 weeks ago, but I think over the last 3 weeks, particularly after, the New Mexico game brought some life to our chances. And then really the Utah State weekend is where you saw things come into clear focus, that this should be a collision course with the two best and most talented teams in this conference between UNLV and Boise State. So at the end of the day, other than playing in a cool venue, with championship banners and a trophy on the sideline, this is going to play like a 13th regular season game, because it is not, a common opponent from your regular season. It's not a repeat offender, if you will. So I think it's going to play out very similar. The prep was no different. It was a normal standard 7-day week. So I think really this plays well for both teams to have their best foot forward, not worry about the previous game and trying to overthink the tendencies that you may have had in that game, not worry too much about your signals and that operation. I think you have a chance to just play it as if it's a regular season game.
We are in the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Make sure you pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. We appreciate them for bringing some Cutwaters on the bus yesterday, Mike. I was jealous. I didn't ride the bus. I flew down to make the press conferences and stuff, but they got off that bus about 10 minutes before tip-off of the basketball game. It was perfect. They went on into Circa and had a great time, and they were fired up. Boise State basketball got a big win over St. Mary's as well, so it was just a great start. Great start to the weekend last night. We appreciate all of our sponsors of that trip, in particular Cutwater Spirits for bringing the cocktails. We had Taco Bell brought by the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Thank you to them. We had Travis Hawks providing shirt giveaways and gift card giveaways. Every hour they were doing drawings on the bus for some shirts, and we appreciate Travis Hawks and company for that. And of course, Western Collective, some of the Horseshoe Golden Ale beer. People kept calling me, wanting to donate more stuff and bring more stuff, and super appreciative. And the two main sponsors that made it happen, Mark Ridley, Ridley's Family Markets, and Andy Rowe and Rowe Painting, they reached out to me and essentially paid for like half the bus to make the price more affordable for all the folks that wanted to go. So thank you to Mark Ridley and Andy Rowe, and make sure you use Rowe Painting for all your painting needs, and hit up Ridley's Family Markets next time you're heading to the grocery store. Two really good people and two really good, big Boise State supporters, and they're already talking about wanting to do it again. So we're very appreciative of them. Let's take a quick 90-second timeout. I want to know who you guys have, your players of the game. I want to know your thoughts, who you liking. We're going to get to Mike's kind of keys to the game and his thoughts, but let us know your bold prediction, your players of the game. We'll get to that here in 90 seconds on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show, live from Allegiant Stadium, getting you set for the Mountain West Championship. Back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. CUI more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Boise State getting some work here on the field. Players warming up. We're inching closer to a Mountain West Championship game here at Allegiant Stadium. You got some of the skill players coming out for their stretching. Mike, I got to say, being down there on the field, they had a very quick turnover from the Pac-12 game last night, and the end zones had to be the end zones were replaced with the new turf and things, the 50-yard line, the new logos. I saw some seams. I don't want it to be a story today. I'm just throwing it out there. It would not surprise me if guys tripping or slipping. It looks like there's some seam issues potentially. I saw some in the turf where I guess they do this all the time, but it just looked to me there were some spots where they like literally halfway through the end zone, the middle of the end zone, there's two sets of 5-yard carpets there, and it looks like there's even Eric Chinander, the defensive line coach, walking off the field goes, they're gonna have to do something about those look at that seam right there. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I'm sure they're used to it, but they essentially roll out 5-yard sections of turf and then kind of stitch it together at the last second here, and just be on the lookout today, because even around the 50-yard line, when I got here at about 9:15, they were still drying the paint at the 50-yard line and switching over from the Pac-12 logo to UNLV. And so I think the field conditions, I guess, potentially could be a small factor today, but I hope not.
Whatever happened to us just playing a game anytime, anywhere. I don't care if it's in the parking lot at Allegiant Stadium, man. That's the kind of energy that I have about getting after UNLV. It's been a pretty big week of banter back and forth, between the Boise State media notes that they've released, taking a couple shots at UNLV, and then the fan base at UNLV taking a couple shots at Boise State. It's all in fun in games. This is very common when you have NFL multi-use stadiums. My dad coached in the Nevada State Championship game, I think it was 10 days ago, there at the same stadium at Allegiant. And it's just par for the course. It's what happens. There was a shot last night, basically the waning moments of the history of the Pac-12 conference, and they were playing the Green Day song, I Hope You Had the Time of Your Life. I forgot the name of it. And it was funny. Everybody was showing it was on Twitter, and there's a video from up in the press box with everybody already departing the field, but there was a couple people hanging around still, just taking in the last few moments of the Pac-12, which is absolutely deplorable in my opinion that the Pac-12 has come to an end. But I was watching while they were playing that video. You saw the field crew already starting to paint the UNLV logo at midfield for this Mountain West Championship game. Wild times at Allegiant Stadium, wild times there in Vegas, but just a tremendous opportunity. And it doesn't matter where we play. I don't care about any stinking seams in the field. If we do what we're capable of doing as a Boise State team, the seams on the field will not be play any role in the outcome of this game.
What are your keys for Boise State here? I know the ground game for Boise State, Ashton Genty, George Helani, Taylon Green, all healthy, all ready to go. It would seem like that's the advantage Boise State has, to run the football and pound the rock. That's one of the things that UNLV has struggled with at times, stopping the run. What do you make of the matchups, this matchup specifically? And I think Boise State's going to run the football and often and early, and I think that's going to be their key to success today.
There's no doubt. It's been in games that they've won behind the legs, of Ashton Genty, and then on the latter half of the season, George Helani, and now the combination of both Ashton Genty and George Helani. But I want to see the three-headed monster, not necessarily perfectly even distribution, but I want to see Taylon Green's legs complement Ashton Genty and George Helani, because when the three of them are rolling, that's a major problem for any defense, let alone a UNLV defense that hasn't seen, I think, this type of speed and physicality behind an offensive line that's playing better than anybody in the Mountain West Conference. This is going to be an important game for this defense. You got to play the play longer. Jade Mayava is a type of quarterback that if the first play doesn't work, he will create the second play. If the second play doesn't work, he'll even spin out of it and get to the third play. So it's going to be an all-day job for guys like the Tubner, like my man Shea Oladipo from here in Colorado. I think it's just an all-day job staying plastered to your men in coverage as the second play begins, even the third play. And I think that they can frustrate Jaden Mayava by keeping him in the pocket and covering for longer than he's seen maybe throughout the course of this year.
What do you make about, and by the way, the linemen and the other group of players came out for the early stretching. There is a lot of Boise State fans here. There's a good number of Boise State fans. The near sideline, the sideline we're on is the Boise State side, and a good amount of Boise State fans making some noise as some players just took the field here. But what do you make about the championship game experience, Mike? I mean, you played in some of these games, you coach in these games. This is the sixth time in 7 years. Sixth time in 7 years, Boise State has played in a conference championship game. This is the first championship game appearance in UNLV football history. I know some guys transferred in. There might be a couple of guys that have played in one. Barry Odom obviously has been a part of some, in some of his previous stops. But but you could say Boise State hasn't had a ton of success. They won in 17 and they won in 19, but they've lost in 18 and then 20 and 22, I guess it was. They've lost, a couple of these here recently. Is there an edge for Boise State from an experience factor? I mean, this is the first one on the road. They played the one during COVID, I guess, down at Sam Boyd Stadium against San Jose State. But most of these home games have been at home, so that's a different factor. But in a championship game, any edge for a team like Boise State that's done it before, as opposed to a lot of these guys for UNLV playing in their first one?
No, I know Barry Odom fairly well. His son Garrett plays quarterback for my dad at Faith Lutheran High School there in Nevada, just outside in Summerlin. And, if he's a very calm, even-keeled type of a head coach. And I guarantee you that he is just drilled into his roster that this is another home game for them. And while you're going to look around and see a few more fans than maybe you would at a normal Week 7 UNLV home game, there'll be more of an atmosphere. I think you just treat this as your 13th game of the season, familiar setting for UNLV. I think the edge, if anything, is going to be in Boise State's favor, not because of the experience, but because of that hunger that exists for players like George Alani that haven't won this thing since 2019. And that's going to be the edge, is just that desire to restore Boise State in the pecking order that it deserves to be in, which is at the top, because we are the best program, the signature program in Group of 5 football. And obviously, with that being said, we're the signature program in the Mountain West Conference. And so order needs to be restored. And those upperclassmen that have gone through some of those losses, in 2 of the last 3 Mountain West championships, it's going to be very important to get off to a very hot start and to assert your will for 4 quarters.
You can see Boise State again, players warming up, stretching. Our intern Jaden Finch sending us back some videos. We appreciate him as you see the crowd starting to file in here. UNLV, what do we make of UNLV, Mike, and what Barry Odom has done with this program, as you said, in year 1, getting them to the championship game here, 9-3. A heck of a year for UNLV. Is this a one-year thing, or can UNLV be a team that really starts to make a name for themselves in this conference? And I've always thought UNLV was kind of a sleeping giant being in Las Vegas, and now you throw in this palace of a stadium here that they've got to recruit to. You would think that UNLV should be a program at the Mountain West level that really should be able to have some success. What do you make of their season here and their side of ththings coming into this game?
Yeah, BJ, I have a lot of experience with UNLV. My dad was a head coach there for 5 seasons, and it was a lot different. First of all, the Mountain West Conference in 2005 included TCU, BYU, Utah. So just a little bit different. Those teams were playing unbelievable double-digit win seasons every year. And then the facilities at UNLV were not good, to put it very lightly. They've rebuilt their on-campus facility for the football program. Got the Fertitta family, obviously of fame for owning and founding the UFC. And they've really enlisted the big money players in the city of Las Vegas to get behind this football program. I think they've made the hire correctly, but what Barry Odom's done is that he didn't come into this situation at UNLV and say that every player on the roster from 2022 was a bad player. I think he re-recruited his roster, kept valuable players. Marcus Arroyo, for all of his maybe lack of success at UNLV, he recruited very well. That offensive line, they have a tackle that's one of the best, if not the best. He's an all-conference player in the Mountain West Conference. So he did a good job of not only keeping his current roster, but then intelligently adding to his roster And Barry Odom's done a phenomenal job. When you've been a head coach in the SEC, you have learned a lot. And I think that's where prior head coaching experience, even if it wasn't the quote unquote hot hire at the time, I think it really paid its dividends because Barry Odom has learned from mistakes, but learned from mistakes in a huge pressure cooker, which is the Southeast Conference.
I never asked you how much time you have, Mike. You need to roll, or are you good for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I gotta head out here pretty soon. I'm calling
give us your final thoughts. Yeah, tell us about you. You're a little busy today. You're covering a state championships.
Yeah, I get the 5A state championship. I'm on the color commentary here at Canvas Stadium, a house of horrors for Boise State in 2023. I'm calling Cherry Creek Bruins with 5 Power 5 starting offensive linemen on their roster that are all committed. And then they're playing against the Columbine Rebels, who are just an awesome story over the last 25 years. Same head coach that endured the madness that happened back in 1999. So just going to be an awesome day. Boise State's going to win today. I think it's going to be close. I think that they're going to win by, I'd say within 6 points. But I think Boise State comes away on top and rides this momentum into an awesome experience for these seniors at the LA Bowl in another just immaculate venue in SoFi Stadium.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike. I don't know if it was you or me or Prater or Tust or which BNN guy got called out by Andy Avalos' dad. We'll all take some blame for it, I guess. But
hey, man, hey, thick skin, brother. Thick skin. You got to have it in this industry, and you certainly have to have it in the coaching industry. That's for sure. Hey, go Broncos. Go win the damn game. And then let's go celebrate after a little bit later tonight.
We're going to take another quick 90-second timeout. We got some more interviews to play, some special guests. Don't go anywhere. Back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. The Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We're rolling on live from Allegiant Stadium. Back in 90 seconds. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Back here live at Allegiant Stadium, BJ Rains with you. This is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We are in the Cutwater Studios here high atop Allegiant Stadium. Appreciate you for joining us here. And again, thanks to Cutwater for providing those beverages. And go pick up a Cutwater. 2 for $7 at like your local gas station or grocery store. It's a perfect drink to watch this Mountain West Championship game. So we want your score predictions. We want your thoughts. Get them in. And we're going to get your thoughts here in the YouTube chat in just a few minutes. We want to play some interviews and things as well. But just a really cool scene here as Boise State continues to warm up and get ready here for the game. By the way, the specialists have taken the field, and they are wearing their full uniforms. And, man, do the all-blue uniforms look nice. I'm just going to say that. I am super excited for what they're going to look like on TV. I think they look really, really, really nice. So, hey, a lot of guys have been talking about who they want to be their head coach moving forward, and one of those guys is Ahmed Hassine. He says the search should be over. It should be Spencer Danielson. Let's hear from Ahmed Hassine, his thoughts going into this game.
he's a father figure to me. Like, he's a guy that I'll be blinded. I mean, I'll tell him which wall, Coach D, you want me to run through, and I'll run through it. Like I said that before, I really love that guy, and he's such a great leader. Other than he's a great coach, he's just a great leader and a good man to follow and a man of God to follow. And when I grow up, I definitely want to be like that guy. And how he treats his kids, his 2 little girls, and how he treats his wife, I want to be like that guy. Now, other than he's a great football coach, he's a great human being.
Do you think you said that you'd be back if Coach D was back? Do you think a lot of guys on the team have that same thought?
Yes. I mean, there's a lot. We love Coach D. We would do anything for Coach D, but we want him as a head coach, and I would love him to be as a head coach. I want him. So everybody wants to be his head coach.
I know that that they have to do their process and go do all these interviews, but what's it like to, you think the coach is right there, but you're seeing them take jets to go interview people and do all this other stuff. When we saw I think it was Tyreek Jones say stop the search, and all these guys are saying they got the guy. What's this process been like?
At the end of the day, it's just everybody has to do their job. They have to search the coach, they have to do all of that, but we don't need it. We don't need it. We want Coach D. This team loves Coach D. This team would do anything for Coach D, and we would die and live by Coach D.
What does it kind of mean to you that Spencer has the opportunity or is in the mix to be a head coach for the first time, a huge break in his career, but he won't talk about that and wants to put all the focus on you guys right now?
I mean, that kind of tells you what the guy he is. I mean, he's not even thinking about what's next. He's all about us. It's all about his players. It's all about not him, not himself, not his position he's in right now. He's been all about us, and that's kind of tell you what kind of guy he is and what kind of leader he is.
DJ.
We're bringing you live back here. You see players warming up. This was video just sent back a few minutes ago. Players are on the field in the all-blue uniforms. I'm telling you, with the lights, they look really, really nice. The all-blue uniforms out there for Boise State. Let's hear from Eric Chinander, Boise State defensive line coach. Eric Chinander getting ready for this game.
It feels awesome. These kids have worked their tails off for a long time, and things didn't go exactly as planned in a lot of ways, and they kept their head down and they kept swinging and they got right back in the fight, and it's a huge reward for those guys. They've earned this opportunity, and it's going to be fun to watch them play.
Looks to me like the defensive line is a lot more active in the last couple of weeks. What have you seen, and how do you think they're better?
I just think that it was a young group at the beginning, and they're growing up and they're maturing through the season, and I think they finally found their groove, and they finally trusted their technique and built some confidence, and were able to cut it loose the last couple of weeks. So it'll be good to see them continue to do that.
What about for these guys getting with the way this whole year's gone, crazy year, some forgettable games, but to be in this position where one game wins you a championship and you get to do it in an NFL stadium and national TV in Vegas, it just seems like the way this has all come together here is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I think, for a lot of these guys, some of these guys have never been in an NFL stadium, never watched an NFL game. For them to get to play in a venue like this, in circumstances like this, with the whole United States watching one football game, it's going to be really awesome. I think these guys understand the stakes. They worked really hard, and they've prepared like they're ready to play a championship game.
I know it's kind of cliche. This is why you come to Boise State to play championship games like this and stuff. But just with the way the year's gone, to be able to just say this was the goal when the season started, forget the other 12 games, forget the Hail Mary, forget all that. You're still here to play in the championship. Just what does it mean, I guess, for the coaching staff of these players, just to be able to, you're here and who cares about everything else, and win one game and you're a champion?
Yeah, no, I think it's the culmination of a lot of things. That is why everyone gets recruited to come here. That's why coaches come here to win championships, and just to see that. Another cliche, right? It's about the process, right? And the process. And these kids have embraced that process in the off season, in January, and in the summertime, throughout the year. And they've just kept preparing and letting this thing work itself out. And they've trusted the process, and the process is finally paying dividends for them. So just to be able to go out there and play for a championship game, let alone, if things go our way to win this game on Saturday, is, it's an amazing thing, but it's a really cool opportunity.
You see, this was from just moments ago, 52 yards, Jonah Dalmas. Not sure if you're going to need it much today or not, but from 52 and a half, I guess call 52 yards right there from the logo. Jonah Dalmas bangs it right down the middle and almost hit it into the stands. He had another 10 yards or so probably on that one. So Jonah Dalmas, good sign there that he's hitting some shots, kicked early and had plenty of leg for 52 yards. You see the oddness of the logo there. They had to cover up the Pac-12 logo, so there's a lot of it's kind of a black square. It's a little unique look there here at Allegiant Stadium. You see the crowd starting to file in. I'll move out of the way for a second. They did not fill the upper level, so the bottom level is for sure going to be full. I believe the middle level is open for some fans on one of the ends. I believe the end where the strip is, the other end that you cannot see right here, is going to be open on the second level. But this is pretty much going to be the bottom level only for this game. They're expecting about 20,000 people here. That is typical. I know some fans were ripping on them, but Boise State for the championship game would typically get in the low 20s, 25,000 maybe, because they had to resell the tickets to all their season ticket holders. It is not part of the season ticket holder package. So it is what it is. Not going to be a full house, not going to be what it was for the game last night, obviously, the Pac-12 game, which was a sellout, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be it's crazy that we're here. I mean, it really is remarkable and kind of crazy to think about the fact that we are here at Allegiant Stadium getting ready to watch Boise State play in the Mountain West Championship game. It is just pretty surreal that we've gotten to this point based on where they were 3 weeks ago. And again, Boise State ran the computer numbers. They said it was a 0.1% chance that Boise State was going to be here in this game. And yet here they are. Kurt's got 42-3. Broncos, Jesse Bywater going 4 sacks. 4 sacks for Ahmed is his bold prediction of the game. Breaking the 71-yard long punt for James Ferguson Reynolds. A 58-yarder for Dalmas. Both of those would be pretty impressive. Let's see. Spencer's the man. It should be over. Let's see here. 37-24. Bill has. Nate says all blue. Boise by 1 million. Appreciate all these comments that are coming in here. He can hate on BNN. I guess talking about Mr. Avalos. There was no talk here that wasn't going on Facebook. Every other Bronco outlet. Fans are allowed. It's not BNN's fault. Yeah, I'll just say this. I don't think I pushed some narrative. The Lou Major stuff were facts that I had reported. And so if that's what they're talking about, it is what it is. But I don't think I actually thought Andy Avalos, I had been saying he was probably coming back next year. I think I was pretty positive towards Andy Avalos towards the end of the tenure. So I don't think that BNN is the reason Andy Avalos got fired by any means. So I don't know if that was what he was trying to say or what. But I think if you go back and over the course of the year, a lot of you fans were saying I was too positive on Andy Avalos. You're saying we were too nice, not asking them tough questions. I don't think BNN did anything super negative towards Andy Avalos. So if the family feels that way, obviously apologize for that. Don't like that. But I think we kept it pretty much on the facts and kept it on informed opinions. And I don't think any of the hosts on BNN, whether it be Mike Prater or Sanford or Johnny or anybody, took any unnecessary shots or negativity. And so, spies in the locker room or whatever else he said, I don't know about that. So, again, it is what it is. You pay us a subscription to get our honest opinion and our thoughts on things. We accurately as we can report the information, and I pretty much stand by everything we've reported on BNN and said about Andy Avalos. So I think we've been more than positive and fair to the family, and I obviously wish him nothing but the best moving forward as he looks for his next opportunity. We need to take one more quick time out. Get your final thoughts, and we have some gift cards to give away for. We're going to have a giveaway for the closest score prediction. Whoever gets the closest score prediction, we're going to give away some cool stuff, and we'll do that after the game. But go ahead and get your final score predictions in now. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. Playtimberstone.com. Well, again, we're inching closer to kickoff. There are a lot of Boise State fans on this side, the near side of the field. There's going to be a very nice Boise State contingent. I don't know what the final numbers are going to be, but Bronco Nation has traveled well for this game, and it's going to be a nice, very nice crowd, I think, for Boise State on this side of the field here at Allegiant Stadium. But we're going to bring you back here into the press box. Here we are, BJ Raines with Bronco Nation News, and we want your final thoughts, your final score predictions before we get out of here. UNLV can't handle the spotlight. We got 45-20. How many people did you bust down? We had 53 people, a full bus, and that was a lot of fun. Last night at Circa, watching the basketball game, they're able to get that win. We'll have some videos and recaps of that party and stuff on next week's shows. We had a lot of fun, and I didn't have a chance to put some of the videos together, but we had a lot of fun, and we appreciate all of our sponsors again for making that happen. Let's see. 41-21 is what we got for Cody Law. Greg Myers, 31-20. So a lot of score predictions coming in. 53, awesome. Yeah, it was a 53 full bus there. It was pretty cool, and it was a lot of fun. So my final thoughts on this one, I think Boise State, really needs to run the ball and run it. I think Ashton Genty, who knows what's going to happen with the transfer portal with his future, but he's on national TV, and I think a huge game from Ashton Genty could help him in whatever he chooses to do next. So I think you get 100% of Ashton Genty. And, oh, by the way, when you give a player 2 off to Ashton Genty and you can bring in George Helani, that's not a bad problem to have either. So I expect Boise State to really have some success running the football. I think Taylon Green's going to get involved in the running game as well. And who's going to be the hero? Somebody we're not thinking about, somebody that hasn't done a lot this season, is going to come in and make a big play in this game on offense or defense. It's in a championship game. Weird stuff happens. There's unsung heroes, and there's going to be somebody in this game that we're not thinking about and we're not talking about that we'll be talking about on the post-game show. Heads up, by the way, on the post-game show, it's going to be pretty delayed. There's a pretty long process after the game. They do the big trophy presentation, the ceremony, and then there's a big press conference for both teams, and then they open the locker room up as well. We can get anybody that played in the game. They're available to the media today. So if Breezy Dubar gets in this game, we get to talk to him after the game, like people like that we haven't talked to all season. So luckily it's a day game, but plan for the post-game show to probably not be till like 6. It's going to be like at least an hour and a half after the game. I apologize for that. Give us time to do whatever you need to do, but we'll have a great extended long post-game show with highlights, with interviews, the whole post-game celebration. We'll have it all. It's just going to take a little bit for the manpower to get it all done. That the Mountain West takes their time with some of this. So we will have an extended post-game show. We will be on the air. We'll have everything you want. It's just going to be a little later than normal. But luckily, this is a 1 p.m. Mountain Time start. So I'm guessing somewhere around 6 p.m., about 60 to 90 minutes after the game ends. Give some time. But when we go live, we'll make it worth it to you with a nice, fun, long, extended show. So we appreciate all you guys for checking us out. We're going to get off the air here before we hit our contractually obligated window and get in trouble from the Mountain West. But thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, Taco Bell, SON Management, BVA, Ball Ventures, Allquist, obviously Idaho Central Credit Union, one of our big sponsors. And, of course, our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. We couldn't do this without them. And so we're very supportive and thankful for all of our major sponsors. And of course, that includes Lithia Ford of Boise, the title sponsor of the pregame show here. So thank you guys for checking us out. Go subscribe to BNN if you can. BNN50 deal is that promo code. If your subscription is up to renew, hopefully you have your credit card information updated and you'll stick with us for another year. We would truly appreciate that. So enjoy the game. We'll have plenty of coverage on social media and on the website. Big win for the basketball team last night over St. Mary's. We got a full story up on the website there as well. We had Brandon Walton over in Idaho Falls covering that game. So go read our basketball story. Keep checking our social media for some more videos and things as we get closer to kickoff. And then, like I said, 60 to 90 minutes after the game, come back for the extended BNN post-game show. We'll have the whole trophy presentation, assuming it's Boise State winning the game. We'll have it all covered with the trophy presentation, interviews on the field, in the locker room, all kinds of stuff. So give us some time, about 90 minutes after the game. Come on back, and we'll be right up here in the press box with an extended post-game show for you, wrapping up the Mountain West Championship game. So thank you to Jaden Finch down on the field. Thank you to Mark, everybody at UNLV, Javen with the Mountain West, everybody for letting us do this show. And we'll be talking to you soon. Big one for Boise State today. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the game. And we'll talk to you on the post-game show. Bronco Nation News, Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Allegiant Stadium. Boise State back in the Mountain West title game yet again. And we got you covered. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. We'll see you